What if the very peace you've been searching for has been within you all along, hidden beneath layers of worry, doubt, and endless what-ifs? So often, we live caught between the pull of the past and the fear of the future, forgetting that the present moment is the only place life truly unfolds. Worry is like carrying a heavy load that was never yours to bear. It drains your energy, clouds your mind, and keeps you from experiencing the quiet freedom already available to you. But when you gently loosen your grip, when you stop trying to control every outcome and instead allow life to move with its own rhythm, something begins to shift. A natural stillness rises. The mind softens, the heart opens, and you begin to see that peace was never lost, it was only hidden. In this video, we'll explore 7 timeless Buddhist teachings, practical, compassionate lessons that can guide you beyond anxiety and into calm awareness. These gentle insights are not about escaping life, but about meeting it with clarity, courage, and ease. If you've been longing for a way to quiet the noise within, these teachings may be the doorway you've been waiting for. 1. Finding peace in the present moment. Buddhist wisdom teaches us that anxiety cannot survive in the present moment. It only exists in the mind's projections. Thoughts of what might happen, what could go wrong, or what the future may bring are like scenes from a movie that hasn't yet been made. When you feel anxious, notice where your mind is. It's not here. It's racing ahead, spinning stories and pulling you away from the only place life is truly happening. This moment, right here, with this breath, you are safe, you are grounded, you are enough. This is mindfulness, the gentle practice of returning to now. Each time you return, anxiety loosens its hold. In this stillness, peace is not something to be found. It is something to be remembered. Beneath the noise of the mind, it is already here, waiting for you. 2. The seed of fear. Have you ever wondered why the more you fear something, the closer it seems to come true? In Buddhist wisdom, the mind is like fertile soil. Whatever seed you plant, fear, anger, calm, or compassion, will take root and grow. Fear is not only a feeling, it becomes a lens that colors the world you see. The more you dwell on it, the more it shapes your choices, your energy, and ultimately, your reality. Imagine fearing the loss of your job. That quiet dread influences your actions. Hesitation replaces confidence, doubt overshadows clarity, and without noticing, you move toward the very outcome you wished to avoid. In relationships, fear of abandonment can make us cling or withdraw, creating the very distance we feared. It is not destiny working against us. It is fear quietly steering from within. The teaching is simple. You are the gardener of your mind. The soil does not judge what you plant. If you sow fear, it multiplies. If you sow presence, trust, and peace, those qualities blossom instead. When fear arises, pause. Breathe deeply. Ask, does this thought bring peace or deepen fear? Choose with awareness. As your inner world softens, life itself begins to open. 3. The power of letting go. In our modern world, strength is often confused with control. We are told to control our time, our success, even the direction of our lives. We push harder, plan more, and cling tightly to outcomes. Yet, the wisdom of Buddhism offers a gentler, deeper truth. Real strength is not about holding on, it is about letting go. Surrender, in this sense, is not weakness. It is an act of clarity. It means releasing the illusion that we can shape every moment, every person, and every result through sheer force of will. Instead, we do what we can with sincerity, and then we allow life to unfold. Imagine holding water in your hand. If you squeeze too tightly, it escapes. But when your hand is open, the water rests there, calm and steady. This is surrender, soft yet strong. When we release the need to control everything, something powerful begins to happen. Our energy is restored. Our mind becomes clear. We notice paths we once overlooked, and support appears in ways we never expected. Life begins to flow with us instead of against us. Buddhist wisdom reminds us that surrender is not an ending, it is a beginning. It is the doorway to inner peace, to true freedom, and to a strength that is unshakable because it is rooted in trust, not tension. To surrender is to live in harmony with life itself, and in that harmony, we don't lose our power, we discover where it truly resides. 4. The freedom of trusting life. There is a quiet truth in Buddhist wisdom that feels both challenging and liberating. Control and faith cannot walk the same road. The more tightly we cling to control, the further we drift from trust. And the more deeply we trust, the more we must loosen our grip. Think of it this way. You cannot hold the steering wheel with both hands and still believe the road itself will carry you. Control and faith move in opposite directions. One is born from fear, the other from trust. When we try to micromanage every part of our lives, what we're really saying is, I don't believe life will take care of me. That need to manage every detail often comes from fear. Fear that if we stop watching, guiding, and pushing, everything will fall apart. But has this control ever truly brought peace? More often than not, it leads to exhaustion. Anxiety grows, tension builds, and we find ourselves tangled in outcomes we cannot command. Control may offer the illusion of safety, but beneath it lies a quiet panic. Faith is different. Faith is not passive, nor is it careless. Faith whispers, I have done what I can. Now I trust the unfolding. It allows us to take meaningful action without being bound by results. It opens us to mystery, to timing we do not dictate, to outcomes we cannot yet see. Buddhist teachings call this the release of attachment. You act with clarity, but you surrender the demand that life must move according to your script. It is like planting a seed. You water it, you care for it, but you cannot pull it upward to force growth. Real growth depends on unseen roots and the natural rhythm of time. Ask yourself gently, am I holding so tightly that I've forgotten how to breathe? Am I trying so hard to force a future that I no longer trust life's quiet intelligence? Letting go does not mean giving up. It means showing up fully, doing what is within your reach, and then stepping back with trust. This is the ground where faith begins, and where faith is, peace follows. To release control is not to lose power. It is to find a deeper strength, the strength to live with openness, patience, and trust in life's unfolding. 5. Letting go of imagined fears. Much of what burdens us never truly happens. Our minds often create storms that never arrive, carrying us into a world of imagined dangers. Buddhist wisdom reminds us of a simple but profound truth. The greatest weight we carry is rarely reality. It is the stories we create about what might go wrong. We spend nights awake with worry, replaying possible outcomes, rehearsing conversations, and bracing for challenges that may never come. These fears become like invisible stones, heavy in our pockets, weighing us down as we move through each day. And yet, most of them dissolve before they ever touch our lives. Why does this happen? Because the human mind is a storyteller. It writes endless drafts of what could be, painting scenes of failure, rejection, or disaster. The mind believes it is protecting us, preparing us for danger. But in truth, it often traps us in a cycle of stress, reacting to shadows as though they are real. Think about the moments in your own life. How many times did you expect the worst, only to find the situation was gentler than you imagined? How often did a dreaded conversation end with understanding or a feared outcome never materialize at all? This is the distortion of worry. It magnifies possibilities until they feel like certainties. But Buddhist wisdom reminds us, a thought is not a fact. Just because the mind presents a story does not mean we must step inside and live it. When anxiety rises, pause, breathe. Ask yourself softly, is this happening now, or is this only a thought? More often than not, you'll see that you are battling images, not reality. In that recognition, something shifts. The weight begins to lift. You return to this breath, this moment, the only place life is ever real. Most of the fears we carry are phantoms, and when we stop feeding them, they fade. What remains is lighter, calmer, and closer to the truth. Life, as it is right now, is often kinder than what we fear, and in that presence, peace is not something far away. It is already here, quietly waiting to be felt. 6. Growth begins with letting go. Worry has a way of making life smaller. It doesn't arrive all at once. It begins quietly, almost unnoticed. A cautious thought here, an extra layer of planning there, a hesitation born from fear. At first, it feels harmless, even responsible. But over time, those small hesitations weave together into walls. And before you realize it, you are living inside a cage of your own making. You shrink your dreams because they feel too uncertain. You hold back your voice because judgment feels too heavy. You close your heart because risk feels unsafe. And so worry, which promises protection, becomes restriction. It builds a small room around you, a room that may feel familiar, but soon feels like a prison. The way out is not found in more control. It is found in release. Letting go is not a loss, but a beginning. It is the quiet courage to say, I will no longer let fear define the shape of my life. Buddhist wisdom reminds us that we cannot grip everything and still expect to feel free. Life asks us to shift focus from what we cannot control to what we can, our choices, our presence, our compassion, and our openness. Picture yourself standing in a river. When you cup the water tightly in your hands, it slips away. But when you soften, when you trust, the river itself carries you. That is the essence of surrender. Letting go is not passive, it is powerful. It makes space for courage, for creativity, for love, and for joy to flow back in. Every act of release is an act of expansion. It invites you back into the present moment where life truly lives, not in the endless what-ifs, but in the simple right now. Ask yourself gently, how much of my energy today went into worrying about what I cannot change? And what if that same energy was poured into creating, into connecting, into trusting the path in front of me? When you stop trying to bend life to match your blueprints and instead begin to move with its rhythm, something shifts. You begin to feel supported, not by control, but by the quiet intelligence of life itself. Letting go is not weakness, it is one of the deepest forms of bravery. It is the strength to step out of the cage of worry and to live with an open, unguarded heart. So breathe. Release the weight you do not need to carry. Allow life to meet you as you are. Growth begins not by holding tighter, but by finally letting go. 7. Getting out of your own way allows life to flow. One of the most profound truths in Buddhist teaching is this: life begins to flow when we step aside. The harder we try to control every detail, the more resistance we create. The tighter we grip, the more chaos we invite. But when we learn to step back, not in neglect, but in quiet trust, something remarkable happens. Life starts to move with its own intelligence, often in ways far wiser than our carefully laid plans. This idea can feel unsettling. From a young age, many of us were taught that safety depends on control. We were told to manage, to correct, to strive, to interfere. And so we analyze every conversation, anticipate problems before they exist, chase outcomes that are not ready, and inject ourselves into details that were never ours to manage. We fear that if we don't, everything will collapse. Yet, what usually happens? Instead of bringing peace, constant interference drains us. It clouds our clarity, saps our energy, and leaves us weary from carrying burdens that were never ours to hold. Control offers the illusion of safety, but underneath it lies restlessness and fatigue. Buddhism points to a gentler path. It teaches that when we loosen our grip, when we stop throwing obstacles into the stream of life, the water begins to move freely again. Just as a river carves its way through the land without our effort, our lives also have a natural rhythm. The more we interfere, the more we dam the flow. The more we trust, the smoother the current becomes. Think back to times when you forced something, a relationship, a job, a decision. How often did it unravel or leave you drained? Now remember the moments when you let go, when you allowed things to unfold in their own time. More often than not, those moments carried surprising ease, as if life itself stepped in to support you. Worry and control are like stones thrown into the river. They disturb the current. But when you remove them, when you choose trust over tension, the water clears and life flows again. So how do we practice this? Begin with awareness. Notice where you're holding too tightly. Is it the endless checking of your phone, waiting for a reply? The habit of replaying conversations long after they've ended? The urge to rush decisions out of fear of delay? In those moments, ask gently, what if I did what's necessary and then let go? What if I trusted life to carry what I cannot? Non-interference is not apathy. It is discernment. It is knowing what is yours to act upon and surrendering what is not. Like planting a seed, you nurture it, you care for it, but you do not pull on it to force growth. Real growth requires patience, unseen roots, and timing beyond your control. Imagine holding a butterfly in your hand. If you squeeze out of fear, it may fly away. You will harm it. But if you open your palm, it may stay longer, and even if it leaves, it may return. Your relationships, your goals, your peace of mind all need the same space to breathe. The more you try to possess them, the faster they slip away. The more you allow them openness, the more naturally they flourish. And then the shift arrives. You begin to notice synchronicities, support appearing from unexpected places, climbing working in your favor, clarity rising without force. You breathe easier, your shoulders soften. Life no longer feels like a battle to be won, but a rhythm to be trusted. At the root of interference is fear, the fear of loss, of failure, of not being enough. But Buddhist wisdom reminds us, life does not demand constant control. It asks for faith. Faith that you can do your part and that the rest will unfold as it should. You are not here to control the ocean, only to learn how to ride its waves. So pause, reflect. Where in your life are you interfering too much? A conversation you keep rehearsing, a decision you're forcing, a dream you're suffocating with worry. Ask yourself, what would it feel like to loosen my grip here, not out of laziness, but out of trust? The moment you release control, life begins to move. Support arrives, peace returns, and you discover the quiet truth. You were never meant to direct every scene. You were meant to play your part, then allow the story to reveal itself. When you stop interfering, life does not fall apart. It begins to work, with you, through you, and for you. Life is not a competition to win, nor a puzzle to solve. It is a movement, like music, inviting us to listen and respond. When we push against it, trying to control every note, the melody feels heavy. But when we loosen our hold, the song becomes clear. Buddhist wisdom encourages us to care, but not to carry everything. It teaches us to release the burdens of constant planning and fear, and to meet each moment as it comes. Letting go is not abandoning effort, it is choosing balance. On this channel, we explore timeless practices for mindfulness, meditation, spiritual growth, and overcoming anxiety with compassion. Each video is created to guide you back to presence, inner peace, and the simple joy of being alive. If you found value in this teaching, please like this video, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss future wisdom talks. Until next time, breathe deeply and walk gently in peace.